The lights have been switched on and Santa's arrived. Here in Braemar, we've started the Christmas countdown. I'm Sue Sherrard and welcome to the festive edition of Braemar TV.
Unto us a boy is born, King of all creation. Came he to a world forlorn, the Lord of every nation.
My name is Peter Argyle. I have the huge honour of being the convener of the County Galway National Park Authority. There's an awful lot going on in Braemar at the moment. There's all the stuff around the Fife, the visitor centre for the games, a really active and dynamic community. So it's really good to see all of that and really good to be here.
So it is right at the start. These are ideas. We're looking for your feedback on it, and hopefully we'll get good feedback from lots of people in Braemar and from elsewhere in the park in terms of what people want to see developed in their local area and how they see it developing over the next 5, 10, 15 years, because obviously this is a long-term plan.
On the 17th of November we're launching a public consultation on what is called the Main Issues Report. Main Issues Report basically sets out what we see as a park authority are the main issues in this case Braemar, and then we ask people to comment on that. Are these the main issues in Braemar? Are there other issues that need to be taken into account and brought forward? So it's a very open consultation. There's nothing fixed at all, and it's really important that people get involved in that debate between the 17th of November and some date in March when the consultation ends. This is the one point where absolutely nothing is set in stone. Everything is up for discussion, and it is really important that people get involved at this stage. I think that Braemar, as in every other community, the biggest issue is around housing and the provision of affordable housing. That's affordable housing for capital A affordable housing, housing association, that sort of stuff, but also just housing that is affordable for people who live and work in the park, which brings into the debate the whole question of second homes, holiday homes and so on. The key issue for communities everywhere across the park is having housing that is affordable and available for people who live and work in the park.
I think the idea of the process for consultation with the communities is fantastic. I hope that the community will, with the estates, actually get together and come back with a rational, comprehensive plan that will take the village forward, not just in affordable, but small flats, small one-bedroom houses, all the way up to the larger houses, so that people can downsize, upsize, start a family, start a continuation, and go right through the village. I hope there will be some small industrial units. I don't mean the factory type thing, but the place where a printer could start, a computer firm could start, a games firm could start, a craft firm could start, anything like that will encourage people to start and stay into the village and develop further. I don't actually think a long-term plan is feasible at this point in time. We've got far too much going on in the village. The Fife Arms being redeveloped, the Inver Hall will be redeveloped, the Highland Games Centre will be developed. And to try to do that now, as we've found as a community council, is virtually impossible, because you cannot get one size does not fit all. We can't even find it, because we need to see what's going to happen in 18 months, 2 years' time. So if we can change the plan at that point and get it re-progressed, then I'd be happy. If this becomes set in stone as the last ones have, then no, I don't think it's a good idea.
This, I think, is one of the challenges we face, and probably more so in Braemar than anywhere else in the park, because there's so much happening here at the moment, so much good stuff happening here. It does make it that little bit more difficult to plan for the future. I think the answer is we need to hear from the community very clearly what the community sees the future holding, how things are likely to go. The more information we can get, the more feedback we can get from the community, the better. That will certainly help us plan for the future. We have the capacity to build some flexibility into the plan as well, and I think in Braemar that will be necessary. But the key thing really for me is to get that feedback from the community about how the community see things developing here.
My name's Carol. We're here at the Invercold Hotel in Braemar. We started a lunch club. About 8-9 years ago I started a small lunch club, and we started in the Moorfield Hotel. We then moved down into the village. Moorfield was up the hill and a bit too far away. We moved down into the village to the Fife Hotel. The Fife Hotel then closed down for renovations, and we moved into the Old Bakery. And from the Old Bakery we moved over to the Invercold Hotel because it was too busy in the summer, and the members of our lunch club like to come every second week, every week of the year. As I say, the lunch club has been going now for 8 or 9 years. It started off just in the winter to give people a social aspect to their lives. It now continues every fortnight all year through. I am involved in the Community Learning Partnership in Deeside, and we've been looking at ways of connecting communities. And today is one of the first events that we're going to have in connecting communities here in Braemar. Our lunch club is hosting a musical afternoon tea, and we have here 28 to 30 people from down Deeside, mostly Ballater. We hope to have another one again soon, hopefully after Christmas or thereabouts, when we will try and go further afield and connect different areas to bring people together and to alleviate any isolation that there might be. We won't alleviate it, but we will help alleviate it. Today we've had, as you've seen on the video, we've had the ukuleles and we've had the mouth organ, and we'll have Brian playing on the keyboard. And everybody seems to be enjoying it very much, and the lunch club is delighted to be able to host it. There are 3 of us at the moment, myself, Kathleen Kinsella and Margaret Cleland, that take on the bulk of organising various events here in the Invercold Hotel. When we meet, we have a 3-course meal, a 2-course meal even, of either soup and main course, or soup and pudding, tea, coffee and a sherry, for which the members pay £5. The Invercold Hotel has been very good to us and accommodate us all year, even when they are busy, and we're delighted that they're accommodating us today for this, our first Connecting Communities.
I have a dream, a fantasy, to help me through.
Hello and welcome to St Margaret. I'm Jamie Flew. We're here today because there's an exhibition going on from the school. It's an art exhibition, and the school have been painting pictures, and they've gone on the wall here, and also the little class have been taking photos, which are also on display here.
So you've been running classes in school for a while?
Yes, Mr. Chamberlain has come in and done art classes. At first we were all a bit anxious because we haven't done a proper art class ever since Mr. Bob came in a few years ago. But we soon really started to like it very much, and most of the work here is helped by Mr. Chamberlain.
So this is your exhibition at the end of the project?
Yes.
And today was that a special day?
Oh, definitely. Also, the younger class have been taking pictures of the Cairngorms National Park, which are also on display here.
So this is the start of the exhibition.
Yes, invited guests were allowed to come here, which includes parents, teachers, and people who helped the school in the past.
And how long's the exhibition going to be on?
I think it's 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, so people will be able to come in and have a look at the exhibition here?
Yes.
And you've got some paintings, I believe?
I've got 3 actually.
And what were your paintings of?
Well, one of mine was like a Mexican style with a cactus and a little town. Another one, which nobody could guess, was a birch forest with golden leaves. And the third one was a mess of black lines with splotches of colour.
And have you enjoyed the experience?
Oh, definitely.
And do you think you'll be continuing with art?
Hopefully. It's one of my favourite lessons.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
There's been a feeling for some time that maybe there should be a men's shed in Braemar. They have them in several communities now. So we've had an inaugural meeting, and there's, to judge the level of interest there would be in having a men's shed, there are over 20 people interested at this stage, so we've decided to move on to the next stage. The plans at the moment are the building behind us is it's used for storing bits and pieces. It's not in great condition, and it'll not be available for use probably in a couple of years' time. So the plan is to use part of it, as a temporary men's shed, to improve a part of it and to use that temporarily to keep, as long as there's interest, to keep the project alive. This was my grandfather's motor repair garage for many years. Men's shed can be whatever the users want it to be. Normally there's an area which is a social area where you can boil a kettle and have a cup of tea, play board games together, perhaps watch a football match together if that's a requirement. Then there's usually an area, or almost always an area, which is termed as workshop area and storage area. That might be woodcraft, it might be mechanics, just whatever the men want it to be. Although there are a lot of projects at the moment, there are people who stay at home and don't have the opportunity to meet with other men, and it can be perhaps might link in with the care initiative, where they are hoping to have volunteers who will sit possibly with a person if the man is maybe caring for his wife. Maybe someone from the care initiative might be able to sit for a while with them to allow that man to go out and socialise. We have a few volunteers who are making up the steering group. Jim Stark, David Mitchell and John Johnson are at the moment preparing the constitution, grant application and insurance. We're waiting to hear the result of the grant application. We can go ahead in a small manner in any case, but it's important to have a constitution and insurance in place first. At present, I'm negotiating with an organisation re the use of a piece of ground which would make where the permanent men's shed would eventually be.
Hi there, one of the steeplejackers just doing a bit of work on the church. All safe, filling the cracks in the hole, bit of painting to do as well at the top. Yeah, pretty safe up there, pretty high, pretty scary.
My name is John McPherson. We are sitting in Braemar Village Hall. I am at the moment very nearly in 100% residence while we prepare for this year's Braemar pantomime. This year's pantomime is Aladdin. Not the first time we've done Aladdin. We achieved for the first 21 years of this run, we managed not to repeat a story. However, now that we're at number 25, I'm more happy to go back and repeat shows because people don't remember the detail of the previous one. So Aladdin, I think, was originally number 3. So here at number 5, we have again Aladdin.
Poor old legs. I tell you, it doesn't get any easier.
When we started, I wouldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams that 25 years later, we would still be doing an annual pantomime. And there were many sceptics when we started who thought it would be a one-night wonder and that we might do the first years, maybe struggle through the second year, and that would be it. However, here we are, 25 years down the road and still going strong.
Right, just let's sort this out.
But when we meet a helpless woman,
or little boys that do no harm,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we show them where the bull shall die.
My name's Stella and I help make the costumes for the Braemar pantomime. Although the pantomime has been going for 25 years, I've only been involved for the last 9 years. Each year, a small team of ladies gets together to plan and make the appropriate costumes for whatever the pantomime is going to be. As you see, we have a large number of boxes which store last year's costumes and costumes from years ago, donated fabrics, donated clothes, accessories, all kinds of things that we can put together. Each year we manage to overcome challenges of very large dames, very small dames, children, very small giants, the costumes that have to fit under the stage and come up through hatches, costumes that need to accommodate flying harnesses, and of course each year John always adds things at the last minute and also orders huge animal costumes such as a dog, a horse, a cow, which have to be adapted to fit one person or two. The worst times are trying to gather together all the fabrics and all the accessories that we need because we don't live in the central belt near retail parks. The best times are seeing the whole thing come together, listening to an appreciative audience and us having cups of tea and chocolate sitting watching it backstage. I think for Braemar it's wonderful that we keep coming up with new talent and can produce a pantomime of the quality we do each year.
I have to be honest and say at every stage, in every single show, I reach a point where there are two thoughts. One is, why am I doing this? And the second one is, are we ever going to get there? We always do, and it always seems to work. The challenges are many. The challenges have got harder in some aspects in recent years. There is now so much going on in the village. Trying to get people to rehearsals is a bit of a nightmare. The challenges of staging it are always different. How do you improve? How do you surprise the audience? There's got to be a surprise. There's got to be something they're not expecting.
Come here!
We've done all sorts of things in the past. We've fired cannonballs at the audience, we've dropped spiders on the audience, we've done all sorts of things.
Come on, Daddy!
Oh, your princess! How lovely to see you!
It is always not necessarily all right on the night, but it gets there for the night. And as long as we send audience out of here happy, having enjoyed themselves, that's the aim of the game.
Well, the festivities are well underway and Santa and I are enjoying the mulled wine. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from you. The next edition of Braemar TV will be at Hogmanay. Until then, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Rocking around.